Hey there everybody! Today I've got another project for you. I'm down in my studio and I'm going to be working on a pendant, not quite like the one that I'm wearing, but the idea is very similar. So I've gathered my materials. I've got an eye, some beads, some beading needles, some bead thread, and my No Days Bailbond. So No Days Bailbond is really great for working with jewelry pieces. If you're not familiar, it comes in pewter, black, and clear. It comes in 2-foot lengths. So I've opened a package of the clear. Clear is generally my favorite just because it doesn't show up. Anyway, I've got this great pendant blank. I can't remember where I picked it up, but it's got a great little hoop on the back side there. Here's my front side, nice flat bezel. I've got this little eye. I had some eye cane that was made on a torch, and then I put a lens on it. You can kind of see it from the side. There's a thin layer of it. Got a nice flat back side, so that's going to go in the middle of my bezel. And the idea is I want to put the beads around the eye, right? But I need to figure out how to get them on there in an easy manner. So this is what I've figured out. If you can take your thread and your beading needle, go ahead and take one bead. This bead is going to be our stopper bead, so this bead isn't quite as important. It doesn't matter, it could be a different color, it could be bigger, and I'm just going to go back through it like this. Whoops, I went the wrong direction. Alright, I'm going to go through it this direction. Hello, hello. Okay. And instead of going back that way, I want to come over this way. Here we go. And go through it like that. All right, so now I've basically tied a knot on my bead, right? Okay, so that's going to stay there. And now I want to make a ring that goes around this eye. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up a bunch of these beads. So I'm going to get these clear guys out of the way. These are the guys that I want next. So just a bunch of these little seed beads in copper. And I just need to get a whole bunch of them on there. Any of them that are sticking, I'm just going to pick up apart. This is a really quick project once you've gotten everything together, all your materials and whatnot. Really nice way to add a little bit of extra detail to your pendant. Because see, this eye doesn't quite fill the bezel. I'm sure it would look just fine like that, but I want to add something a little extra to really make it stand out and give a nice frame to this eye. Such a beautiful eye. So I'm just going to come over here and measure around my eye. Almost there, right? I'm sitting there. So I just want to do more than I need because I can take some away really easily. Once I get this sized, I'll show you that. If anybody has questions while you're watching, feel free to ask and I'll give you an answer. Hope everybody's hanging in there, enjoying this Sunday. The weather's starting to perk up in Nebraska. My daffodils and my hyacinth all came up and were blooming, and then they got pummeled by a hailstorm. I'm going to tear these apart because I might have to separate them when I get to the end. Do my sizing. Alright, I'm pretty sure that's plenty. Pull this guy off here and see. Yes, indeed, more than enough. And you can kind of see, let me see if I can't bring this over here a little bit closer to you so you can really see. You can see where they overlap. I don't want any spacing in between them. And it looks like that bead right there is the one that I'm going for. You see that? All right, so that's, get rid of 2 beads. get rid of 2 beads and come around. I'm just going to test it first, so come through 2 beads here. Just kind of stitched them closed, right? Put that back over the top. And yeah, that looks good, don't you think? All right, perfect. So just to make sure that these are nice and secure, I'm going to come in and continue my stitching for a bit, just so I really have those together. Okay, so that's the first part, right? We've done that. The next step is to secure all this stuff together. So I've got my Bailbond, I've got my clear. I'm going to show you how I like to work with it. Bezel. No days. Move some of this other stuff out of the way. First and foremost, move anything out of the way that you might not want to melt. And heat gun, right? It's got 2 settings. It's got a low and a high. I want it to be on the high, which is the number 2. I'm going to take my no days, and the first thing I need to do is heat up the bezel. After I've started heating up the bezel, then I'm going to start laying down the solder. The no days glaze kind of like solder. So let's see. Oh yeah, there we go. I'm going to just flip that off for a second. Whenever you're not using your heat gun, you want to make sure that you sit it with the end facing up like that so you don't burn out your elements. Back to here. I'm just going ahead and putting a nice thin layer of the Bailbond all around where I'm going to want it to stick. Since I've got a little bit of heat worked up already, I'm hoping I'm going to try and center this guy as good as possible. When I put it down, it's initially going to probably stick and stay right where I put it. We'll see in a second. Oh, it's moving around pretty well. Then I'm going to take my beads. Next, my beads go down, and I'm going to stick those in place. Cinch this up nice and tight. All right, so the placement looks good, right? Placement looks excellent. The next thing that I need to do is heat up that piece of glass, because the No Days adhesive heat sets at 160 degrees Fahrenheit. It's already stuck to the metal, but the glass needs to get to that temperature too. So again, I'm going to switch it on high, and I'm going to give myself some heat here. Right on that eye, I want to hold it in place because I don't want it to go flying off or out of the way. I also want to make sure that it's centered in the correct orientation. And those beads are getting warm too. I don't really need to worry about them getting warm. They're tiny, so they heat up really quickly. It's probably enough for the eye. See how it all kind of moves around a little bit like that? That's exactly what I want to see. When I'm heating it, it's going to be too hot to touch, so I don't want to touch it. Again, I'm just going to try and cinch these up a little bit. I think that's probably fine. Ta-da. And let's see, is that orientation correct? Is that eye straight up and down? I think it is. All right. Now I just need to let that cool down. We're going to put you over here, and I'm going to show you another way that I tend to heat these, the pendants with the heat gun, so that I'm not aiming down on it and then I have a couple of hands. So the first thing I'm going to do is I've got my my bail, or my pendant with the bail, and I've got these tweezers. These tweezers I really like. They're mosaic tweezers, so they've got like this little scoop, so I can grab underneath like that and hold it, and that works really well. So I'm going to turn my heat gun on, and then I heat from below. The nice thing about heating from below is that it doesn't move anything around as you're heating, so if you have a lot of little teeny tiny pieces that you're trying to put on there, you can heat it from below and it's not a big deal. And again, I'm just heating this long enough to get the metal warm enough so I can prep it with my No Days adhesive. I like working with the Bailbond this way on these flat pads versus cutting a little bit of it ahead of time, simply because I can spread it around, right? So, see that? And I don't need a ton, I just need a little bit. But don't forget those edges, because that's where the beads are gonna be. Okay, it's all prepped up. Now I can go ahead and put my eye on there. And right now, remember, my eye is cool to the touch. So when I put it on there, it pretty much stays where I put it. Then my glass beads are gonna go around. Whoo, touch that bail. That sucker is hot. And cinch this up. I wanna get rid of all those spaces, right? My eye moved a little bit. Wow. The eye is getting quite warm from the metal. I think I heated it plenty long. All right, center that. I'm gonna give it another heat here, just like you saw me do before, and then I'm hoping that the other one is cooled down. It doesn't usually take very long. Of course, I'm using a thicker piece of glass. These eyes are pretty thick. Notice I'm really directing the heat right at that eye, because that's the bit that I want to get hot, not the phone. Right? Make little adjustments. What do you think? Looks pretty centered to me. Push down, make sure I got it centered and everything's nice and attached. Okay. All right, I'm gonna move this aside, and hopefully now this one's cooled down. Oh yeah, nice. Oh, this is gonna be beautiful. So now I just gotta get rid of that thread, right? I'm guessing I'm not gonna be able to just pull it out, and that's totally fine. I wanna cut it out. Now, if you've got some teeny bead needles, which is what I really need, you can go ahead and use those, and you'll get in there a lot closer. But there it is. Isn't that sweet? So cute, so quick and easy, and I think she's gonna love it. So, thanks for joining me. Hopefully we'll see you soonish. And if you haven't noticed, I've been uploading these to our YouTube channel after I go live. So in case you missed these, you can go back and you can find the No Days studio sessions. I edit in some footage of examples if I've accidentally left them out and forgotten them, and references, and I do some light editing as well. It's not super clean and shortcut like most of the YouTube demos that I do. So just light editing. So enjoy. Have a great day, everybody. Happy Sunday, and we'll see you next time.